Hello and welcome to Happy Live Strong Start, empowering teachers through school year 2020 to 2021. This is a pilot project of Happy Live and we're so excited to have you here with us. Kami ang mga taga-Habi. I'm Patrick Nawi and I'm here with Jess Carlos. So just to give a brief background on what Habi is, Habi is a sign firm consisting of different teachers and educators just like you, and we make well-designed learning experiences for everyone. Habi Live naman provides an avenue for accessible synchronous learning opportunities for everyone. So here at Habi Live, we have very specific norms and mindsets. Una, sige lang ng sige. Meron tayong mga may encounter na activities dito na baka bago pa sa atin at hindi pa natin na-encounter before. Huwag tayo mahihiya at every time na may gagawin tayong activity, sige lang tayo ng sige. Next is trust the process. Dahil merong mga bagong activities na hindi pa natin na-encounter before, maganda magtiwala tayo na lahat ng activities na gagawin natin dito ay may patutunguhan. Let's trust the facilitator na lahat ng mga activities na ginagawa natin ay may patutunguhan learning, at magtiwala rin tayo sa isa't isa na bibigyan natin ng isa't isa ng safe space na kailangan natin. And finally, let's not be afraid to ask questions. Let's ask as many questions as we can, and we can do that either through the Zoom chat or the Facebook comments. Some additional reminders if you're in Zoom is let's mute ourselves during the plenary session, have a pen and paper ready, ask questions and engage in the chat or the comment section, be respectful towards everyone, and share your learnings with the group. In our Zoom call, we will have breakouts. So during these breakouts, we request everyone to listen actively and unmute and participate. So let's introduce ourselves in the chat. What we usually do before we start a workshop is that we always start with the check-in. So in this session, let's use the check-in. Share what you're feeling right now using one word. So feel free to use the Zoom chat or the comment section in our Facebook Live. Our facilitator for today is Raquel Cabrieto. We call her Rax and she's from Malayang Diwa. She's a facilitator, teacher, coach, researcher, and storyteller. So take it away, Rax.
Thank you, Patrick. Good evening, teachers, and hello teachers to those who are watching in FB Live. So katulad nga ng any start or any endeavor, it's important to get to know each other. So allow me to share a bit about myself and what Malayang Diwa is about. Okay, so Malayang Diwa stands for Malayang Daloy, Malayang Isip, at Malayang Gawa. So these are the three values that I uphold, or like three values that I stand for as a teacher coach. And it's connected to my context. So katulad ninyong lahat, actually, nagsimula ako bilang teacher din. So back in 2005, in that photo, actually, I also became a volunteer in a GK Siebel School in 2006. I became my first year of teaching in 2005. I taught in a big Jesuit school for boys. And then I taught in a small progressive school, na mixed naman. I also taught in an international Catholic school and in a Waldorf school. So in that photo, you'll also see me that I brought my kids to a Gawad Kalinga site at nagtanim din kami. So I can relate to you na nakapag-substitute na rin actually sa public schools. Na-excite nung dati, na-excite, kinabahan, kinilig, na-stress, minsan na-depress, natuwa, at namangha sa mga interactions kasama ang mga bata. So, as a coach, I bring this lens with me, not prescribing a particular way of doing things, but exploring what can work for you. Katulad ng pagsasayaw. So, parang it's just flowing, going with the flow of the music. Ganyan. So, aside from this, mahilig rin ako gumalaw. I've discovered how moving my body allows me to actually have more flow. Alam mo yung feeling mo na stuck ka, na sobrang dami mong iniisip, tapos makapaglakad ka lang, parang I think I need a breath of fresh air, o parang maglakad ka lang, tubakbo ka, or baka nayaya ka, mag-zumba ka, parang gumalaw ka lang, tapos parang magkakaroon ka ng space to think more, space to breathe and to think more clearly. So sa sessions natin, in the next 5 weeks, sasama natin ito. We'll be moving and having space to feel in our bodies. So for that, just make sure na once you have put step 1 foot forward and 1 foot backward, 1 foot to the left and 1 foot to the right, that's basically the amount of space that we'll need. Yon. So, ano naman ang malayang isip? Malayang isip naman is from a state of flow for malayang daloy. Malayang isip naman, I believe in the importance of, it's actually very connected to state of flow, is clarity of mind. So aside from my teaching experience, I've also worked with groups of teachers. Actually, since 2008, I was a project coordinator in Ateneo Center for Educational Development. So before that, my boss, Mrs. O, actually requested me and told me, parang sabi niya, alam mo, Rax, kasi magti-teacher training kami, sabi niya, alam mo, bago ka mag-teacher training, lagay kaya natin tong teacher renewal workshops. At tinawag niya tong manumbalik muli. Parang misyon, ugat, ligaya at inspirasyon. Ganyan. Sabi niya, kasi alam mo, pansin ko, bugbog na ang teacher sa training. Tapos, parang wala nang nagbabago. Yung parang wala nang pumapasok sa kanila. Tapos sabi niya, siguro, parang baka mahalaga na ma-motivate muna sila. So, yun. And that was actually my first experience of the importance of teacher well-being. Na parang, paano ka makakapuno kapag pagod ka na. So, aside from that, that was back in 2008. In 2012, I co-founded a community of teachers called Kapit Guro. Play of words kasi kapit. Ayan. So, it means support. So, in our group, we imagine growing communities of Filipino teachers who are effective agents of change. So through sharing stories with each other, our goal was to really find inspiration from each other's stories. Ayan. Back in 2012, we had First Day High. It was a crowdfunding event where we provided a workshop for teachers. And in 2015, it was called Bright Start. And ngayon, fast forward, as a coach, right now, I want to explore this model, and ito naman, strong start naman. So aside from that, I've also worked as a leadership development officer in Teach for the Philippines back in 2013 nung nagsisimula pa lang siya. So I coached teachers, well actually fresh graduates mostly, that were going to go to the public school. I've also worked in quality education design company, a consultancy that worked with a school in Cavite, and I coach teachers there also. So I have experience working with public and private school teachers, those that were about to teach and those that have been teaching. Ayan. And lastly, I also helped, I was part of a team, teacher development team who worked with DepEd Central Office to create learning materials for learning action cells. So in all these varied experiences, what I realized was, what was potent was asking teachers questions. Kapag naguguluhan sila, minsan parang ang dami-dami nilang iniisip. Yung mahalaga pala is bigyan sila ng pagkakataon na mag-reflect. Yon. So, at hindi lang maging mag-reflect, but to be mindful, to pay attention to their experiences. So for this series, we will be doing this. Please make sure you have writing materials, a journal to write your thoughts and insights. Lastly, so malayang daloy, malayang isip, important din para sa akin bilang coach ang malayang gawa or having a sense of agency. Ayan. So, in that photo, that's actually, those are teachers from the division of Basilan in 2015. I was invited by a friend who organized a teacher leadership and resiliency workshop for the teachers in Basilan. Bibihira lang actually pumunta ang mga trainers doon sa ibang lugar. Ayun. Tapos nagulat sila kasi sanay sila na parang akala nila ng mga teachers, we were gonna prescribe na parang dapat ganito, dapat ganyan, malito, tama to. But my friend actually, I think, rin siya, design thinker din siya, inspired by hobby. Ayan, yung approach was really paghihimay ng problema. Parang, ano ba yung kailangan ng teachers? At pagtatanong, paggawa ng empathy map, pagtatanong sa mga teachers, ano ba yung kailangan nila? And to give them a voice. And it was very interesting for them actually, very moving for the teachers. Parang, salamat, pinakinggan nyo kami. At hindi lang kayo, parang akala namin, i-correct kami. Ganyan. So, it was very moving. Napansin ko, in all my different experiences with teachers, and particularly with this experience, na when teachers' voices are heard, mas napapabuti ang mga bagay-bagay. Naalala ko tuloy actually si Ma'am Tina, or more famously known as Dr. Robles of Navotas National High School. A few years back, naligaw ako doon sa kanila sa Navotas. Tapos nakapagkwentuhan kami. Sabi ko, Ma'am Tina, how do you do it? Ano ba yung secret ninyo? Tapos sabi niya candidly, alam mo Rax, sa totoo, hindi ko naman feeling, hindi naman ako yung pinakamagaling dito eh. Sabi niya ganyan. Sa totoo, hinahanap ko yung mga magagaling, yung galing ng teachers ko. And I tap that. And true enough, actually, they're famous for MCART. It's like a program using technology to really boost education. It started with Ma'am Tina looking at 2 science teachers for inspiration. So, mukhang mas nakakakilos ang teachers or if they have a sense of agency kapag nakikinig sila sa sarili nila at sa mga co-teachers nila. In this series, hindi lang tayo makikinig sa isa't isa, pero kikilos rin tayo at magbabahagi. Lalo na yung sa last part, ano yung check-out natin, ano yung gagawin mo na bago, and how will you engage your co-teachers. So, we highly encourage you to participate and to be active participants in this series. And that's the only way kasi that we'll really learn from each other and have a strong start yon. So, now that you know my context, let's go to your context. Yan. So, yon. So, game na tayo. You know a bit about me. Now, let me share a bit about you. Na, kasi of course, I want to know who you are. And that's why we also want to have this conversation with you. So based on the survey that you answered dun sa registration, it's interesting that most of you, actually 74 out of 133 respondents, said that nirank nila 3 out of 4 na parang how confident are you in the school year. So not bad actually, na parang okay naman, ganyan. Meron pang 20 na nagsabi, very confident, 4. Tapos merong 36 na sabi, parang hindi masyado at 3 people na hindi. So in a sense, you're in a good space. Yan. Tapos, how much energy and motivation do you have in starting the school year? Similar, mataas din nagsabi na they have energy and motivation, and then mas mataas din kay may 33 na nagsabi na 4. They have a lot of energy at 27 lang yung parang medyo hindi. And it's interesting, we're really excited to work with you na parang ang galing kasi may time din si teacher to be here. Ayan. So, ano ba yung context ng teachers? Like looking at it right now in that parang school year 2020. Diba, na it's very different, totally different. Parang it's never happened before na schools are closed until further notice. So there's distant learning, like parang yung phone kailangan na gamitin, radio, TV, ganyan. And there's also blended learning. So there's a risk because of all the things that the teachers need to learn, like yung Google Meets, yung Zoom, ano ba yung how can I coordinate with the students and all that. There's a risk of teacher burnout. Parang, what? Ang daming kailangan gawin. Ang daming hindi ko alam na kailan ba talaga pwede nang pumasok sa eskwelahan, or parang hanggang kailan ba to? Nakikinig ba yung mga students ko? Or parang yon. So maraming tanong. So as much as there's risk of teacher burnout, ayan, what's interesting is, nagpa-survey kami, di ba, dun sa survey, parang tinanong namin kayo, how do you practice self-care and teacher well-being during the pandemic? What's interesting is, ang galing, kasi out of 133, 97 said that they actually do positive self-talk and affirmation. So, itong group na to, they're very encouraging to themselves. Ayan. And in fact, ang interesting pa is 86 out of the 133 have mindfulness meditation practice. So, that's great kasi parang we're gonna explore that also and we want feedback from you and baka may suggestions pa kayo. So, pero tas marami rin, may praying, may gardening, ganyan. So, tinignan natin, ayan, ang ibang answers, I just pulled it out, sabi niya, nahihirapan akong maging consistent with self-care routines. Work lang talaga. Sabi naman nung isa, and ang galing, pinull out ko talaga tong ano na to kasi ang ganda ng pagkasabi niya. Sabi niya, I'm intentionally allotting time for regenerative breaks. Ayan. Wow. So parang talagang being mindful. Tapos yung isa naman, I engage myself to do and to assure my checklist to be achieved before the end of the day. So very productive. Pero may isang sumagot, I do not. Nung tinanong na parang, what are your self-care practices? So in a sense, parang what we sense in this group is that, yes, you see the need to take care of your well-being and you're doing it. But at the same time, parang may difficulty to sustain it. At nakikita nyo na siguro yon. That's why you want to join this session. So, ayan. Paano ba to? Ayan, sorry. Ayan, okay. So as much as there's a risk of teacher burnout, pag you'll flip the coin, it's also a call to see possibilities. Or sabi nga ni Joseph Campbell, it's like call to the hero's journey. Ayan, kasi like if you look at the parang cycle, parang may status quo, di ba? Parang comfort zone. But right now, parang teachers are shoved out of their comfort zone na parang, ano to, lahat bago, parang technology, ganyan. So, there's the call, gathering of allies, and then crossing the threshold, the trip, challenges, and then may transformation. So, may possibility rin na may ma-discover kang, uy, kaya ko palang mag-Zoom, or parang kaya ko pala matuto ng online na chat with my students, ganyan. So, may ganun din. So, with that context in mind that you have, let's go to the learning goals for today. So for today, or for this week actually, for those who are watching, the goal for this session that you're watching is first that you'll know what is important to have a strong start for the coming school year. Na para sa'yo, ano nga ba yung strong start, diba? Tapos do, diba? So will be to reflect on what is essential for you to have a strong start. And at the end of the session, we hope that you'll feel a bit more confident from 3 baka kaya maging 4, di ba? From 2, maging 3, or eventually lahat maging 4. In preparing for the school year, or for those who are already in the school year, be confident that you'll have throughout the school year. Okay, so ano yung flow natin in the remaining 1 hour? Yan, so today, it's actually a bit of an orientation. Session 0 pa lang siya. We'll just explain to you the framework that we'll be using in the 5 sessions. So, to start, we'll reflect on ano ba yung strong start, di ba? Ano yung may sharing of insights na parang para sa'yo, ano ang strong start. And I'll share about the SPARK framework that I developed that I wanna also share with you and get feedback from. Okay, so game? Okay, game na tayo. So, ayan. So, if you want to join live, and if you can commit to the 5 sessions, please let us know. Kasi parang, I think that's what our goal is, di ba? If teachers can join the 5 sessions so that they can join us sa Zoom. Para at least may consistency and makikita natin how it will progress. Ayan. It's every Monday, like ngayon, every Monday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Yan. Until September 28. For public school teachers, sakto kasi the next Monday, pasok ka na. Okay? And yun yung mga themes, which I'll elaborate later. Okay. So, to start the session that I have, I want to ask you, ayan, kung galaw ka ngayon, kung de-describe mo sa galaw yung sarili mo, at saka yung pakiramdam mo, anong galaw ka? Yun. So, describe how you are feeling right now in an action. Okay? So, I'll give you 1 minute to think about it. Parang anong galaw kaya? Ganyan. Pero magbibigay muna akong sample. So, kung ako, galaw ngayon, feeling ko para akong, yung analogy ko nga is I'm flying. Ganyan. Flying like a pilot. Like a new pilot. Kasi parang, well, aside na may ring light ako dito, na parang feeling ko steering wheel. Ayan. Yung parang nangangapa pa rin ako sa technology, to be honest. Kasi masanay ako sa live workshops. And it's my first time to do this, sa parang to have conversations. Kasi that's why I really want to see you and interact with you. So, yan. So, 1 minute, think about it. Anong galaw yung, you don't have to move it kasi you just have to think about it. Hindi naman natin i-demo yun eh. Parang curious lang kami. So, type it out in the chat box. Okay. Play lang ako ng music. Okay, so I think okay na tayo. Thank you for sharing. I-share ko na ulit ang screen ko. Ayan. So, something that you need to be mindful of as teachers din kapag yung sa sharing, baka expert na kayo dyan. Baka makita nila ang iba nyong screen. Ayan. So, okay. Okay. So, now that you've articulated how you feel, quick body check lang. Okay? So, if you can, just put your hands on your lap. Ayan. Just, if you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. Or if it distracts you, like ako, if I close my eyes, I imagine a lot of things. You can just open your eyes, pero parang lightly lang, parang light view, parang ganyan. So slowly, we'll listen to our breath first, okay? So 3 counts in, tapos 2 counts hold, and then 3 counts out, okay? But before that, try to check in lang, parang how do you feel in your body? Okay, so 3 counts in, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, 3, in, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, 3. Last one. In. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2. Out. 1, 2, 3. Try to check in the different parts of your body, starting from your feet. Meron bang parang matigas, masakit, kumikirot, mabigat, or parang light, ganyan. So your feet, your knees, and then your legs, and then how you're sitting on the chair, yung back, lower back, middle back, yung upper back and shoulders, ganyan. So, like you mentioned how you feel right now, diba? So, just remember that, from 0 to 5, ano yung energy level ninyo? Just check in with yourself, okay? Or if you want, you can write it in the chat box na parang, I feel like a 4, na parang may energy pa ako, parang gising, na sobrahan ako sa kape, or parang I feel like a 2, ganyan. Because after that, I'll invite you to a simple movement exercise, which I learned from Tony Robbins, and it's called Egoscue method. Parang I do it at the start of the day. Alam ko hapon na, pero parang ginagawa ko siya kapag wala akong energy. Tapos gusto kong magising. Yan. So, we'll watch the video first. If you want, you can stand up actually and follow Brian Bradley, that's his name, para lang i-test ninyo. Tapos kung nasa-shy kayo, pwede nyong i-turn off yung video. Ayan. Tapos after that, we'll do the last exercise together. Ayan. So, here you go.
Hey guys, Brian Bradley from Egoscue. I'm proud to bring these exercises that we've done probably 1,000 times with you overall, but I've had so many requests to get them on video, so here we go. We're going to start out with the arm circles. The standing arm circles are done with your feet pointed directly straight ahead. So remember, if your feet are out like this and your pelvis and shoulders are kind of dropped down and relaxed into bad posture, all you have to be thinking about is straightening up your feet and getting your toes fist width apart, so that your feet are dead straight, almost feeling like they're turned in or slightly pigeon-toed. That is key to the exercise because it changes the relationship of your leg into your hip joint. That sets you up for everything and grounds you to the floor. Your next position is when we bring your hands out of a fist and into what we call the golfer's grip, where we bring the palms and the fingernails together like this, nice and stiff at the wrist and hands. And then we're going to take that, and that's for the remainder of the exercise and including the next one. Drop your arms and relax your shoulders. You're going to lightly pull your shoulder blades together behind you. So the movement is not throwing your chest out. It's just sliding your shoulder blades together and hold. So you want to relax this, and you want to just bring your shoulder blades together and hold that. Bring your arms up to the side and circle forward 40 times. You're going to keep the tension in between the shoulder blades the entire time. And if you see your arms coming up in front of you, where you can see that out of your periphery, you need to bring them back and reset them behind you and beside you. So again, you're holding the shoulder blades pinned together to put your shoulders in a more advantageous position to get the exercise done. After 40 of those, you're going to go palms up, same hand position, like shoulders down and back. And if you have to, you can lower them down, shoulder blades pinned together, up, and then circle up and back 40 times. Try to make full circles. Don't just move the arms back and forth like this. It's a full circle motion to get it done for the 40 repetitions. Okay, same foot position. We're going to do what we call elbow curls. Same hand position, place it against your temples, and then thumbs down, close your elbows together in front of you, open them up. Try to close them right at your chin level, and then open. Close, open. We'll go to 20 to 25 repetitions. You can even go up to 35 if you'd like.
Ayan, parang na-feel
And
niyo
if you
yung
want
stretch.
to make this a little bit more challenging at home, you can put your back up against the wall, but of course, make sure your feet are pointed
Pwede ito
directly
pag
straight
mga
ahead.
masakit yung shoulders niya from typing the whole day.
The next exercise is the overhead extension. You're going to interlace your fingers together. Drop your shoulders. Get your palms pointed away from you to start. Drop your shoulders again. Lock your arms out. take that up over your head to where your shoulder stops the movement. Now, when I'm in this position, I'm lightly looking up like this. I'm not leaning way back. I'm just looking up at my hands, and then I'm trying to bring my arms back the entire time, make it a little bit more active. From the side view, what I do not want you to do is bring your arms back by leaning back and compressing on your spine. That's going to lead into some severe back pain. So wherever your shoulders stop moving, that's where the exercise stops. Keep your elbows locked out, look up, and hold that position. You'd hold that for about a minute. You could go as low as 30 seconds. But those are some quick exercises to change your shoulder blade rotation. The one last exercise I want to show you is, remember, what I call the ultimate abdominal exercise. You're going to set yourself up as if you're going to go on a 50 or 100-yard sprint. Come up off the heel and the back foot, have it turned out about 45 degrees. The weight's on both feet, but really loaded up on this front leg. And then the motion is just with your arms. Just as if you were going to go sprinting. So I'm showing you the slow motion right now, just so you can see the actual motion with my arm is this. Not this, and not this. So you want to get yourself set, nice and loose, loading up both legs. And here we go. We're going to do this. And then you start going full speed. And you can hear what it's done to my breathing and my talking, because my deep abdominal muscles and my peripheral abdominal muscles have to contract along with my back and hip muscles to stabilize this movement. You do that for about 30 seconds, and then you switch sides.
So switch sides.
Again, up on the ball of the foot, heel slightly up. Ready, go. And you would do this motion again, and you can hear what it's doing to my breathing and my voice. Now, if you want to see what that's doing or feel it, you have somebody get in this position, you walk up behind them.
So just be gentle with yourself, para dun sa
into their
iba.
abdominal area, and you'll feel that it's kind of
Just do
relaxed.
what you can.
The minute they start doing the sprint, the abdominal muscles seize themselves down to stabilize your trunk and your pelvis. A major, major stabilizer for your body. Okay, you can hear just from that little bit of running what it's done to my breathing, just because you're actually engaging so many muscles to actually go on a sprint. And that wasn't even including the leg movement. So again, Brian Bradley from Agoscu. If you have any questions, you can email me, painfree@agoscu.com.
Okay. So, okay. Ayan. So, how was that for you? You can type it sa chat box. Like, how was the feeling of doing that? From how you felt, like yung energy level nyo kanina, ngayon, try to check in. How does it feel like? May nagbago ba dun sa katawan ninyo? Yun. So basically, if you think about it, ako personally, parang minsan may mga days, yung parang ang bigat ng pakiramdam ko. Parang hindi ko alam kung bakit ang bigat ng pakiramdam ko. Pero kanina, kunyari, parang sabi ko, parang inaantok ako, pero nung naglakad ako, nagising ako. Basically, our physiology or our body, what we do, affects our thoughts and our feelings. Sabi nga nila, emotion is energy in motion. So, it's important to take note of that. So, when we start our sessions, we'll move our body also. Kasi sabi rin nila na parang when you're in a peak state, parang gising na gising yung katawan mo, dun ka talaga matututo. Kapag gutom ka, hindi ka matututo. Pag pagod ka, hindi ka rin ganun ka-effective na matuto. So, something to think about rin sa mga students. And, but at the same time, di ba parang if you're feeling low, you don't have to like, mag-exercise na lang ako para maging happy ako. Parang it's also okay to check in with yourself first, where you are. Kasi sabi nga nila na parang kapag nag-repress ka naman ng emotion mo, magiging stress din yun sa katawan. Okay. So, now we'll go to the, main topic for today, for tonight. Di ba kasi parang, para kang tumatakbo. Parang start. Yan yung, when I ask what a strong start pa you, parang marathon siya. Sabi ng isa kong friend. So, right now, I want to know, in your own words, describe a strong start for you this 2020 to 2021. Yan, I'll give you maybe 1 minute to think about it. Ano kaya yung strong start for you? So, once you've journaled about it, you can type it in the chat box. Yan. So, thank you for these parang insights. Patuloy lang tayo mag-share. Ayan, you feel confident with what you have prepared and you are excited for your students' learning. Okay. So, kapag ramdam na ang balanse ng personal and work life in the current setup now. So, it's really about balance, confidence, preparedness, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. Yun ang strong start para sa inyo. Sige. So, ngayon naman, magkukwentuhan tayo. So, what you said, you'll share it to a small group, siguro groups of threes. Ayan, so 2 minutes, introduce yourself, yung name ninyo, school, at kung ano yung galaw na sinabi mo kanina. And I'll encourage you to turn on your video para makapagkilala kayo sa isa't isa. Tapos, we'll give you 9 minutes to share, parang yung 3 words ninyo, ano yung strong start for you. Ayan, so 3 minutes each person. And then after that, 4 minutes, as a group, brainstorm what is one thing that teachers can do to have a strong start. Ayan. So from hearing na parang, okay, so for you, ito yung strong start. Ano naman yung tip ninyo or advice ninyo sa other teachers? And then we'll come back to to this main room and then choose one person to document it and to type out what your advice is or tip. Okay? So a few reminders lang for sharing. Like what kind of, ano ba? Ayan. Ay, sorry. Ayan. In terms of talking to each other, ayan. 5 words lang, parang to remember. So, always keep an optimistic mindset na look at what is this person saying, ano yung good thing about it. So, pwede sabihin or gamitin yung word na wow. Ayan. Tapos kapag something na bago, ayan, openness to new ideas, pwede mong sabihin, oh, pwede. Ganyan. Tapos parang, uy, ang ganda niya na. Parang, it's like nag-connect na kayo. Pwede, oh, tara, sige, yan na yung advice natin. Ganyan, pwedeng tara. Pero minsan, di ba, pag natutuwa na tayo magkwento, biglang nakwento na natin yung ibang bagay, it's also okay to say na parang, uy, teka lang, di ba yung pinag-usapan natin is how to have a strong start. So, pwede mo rin sabihin, teka, parang pag-isipan natin ano kaya yung sagot so that you'll be on track. Tapos last, pwedeng aha or parang pwedeng talaga, ganyan. To have this mindset of curiosity. Maybe it's something totally different from what you thought of, pero just be open na parang, talaga, hindi ko naisip yun eh. Parang, aha, pwede pala yun. Parang ganon. So these are some words that you can use in your conversations. Yan. So I think ready na tayo to break out. We'll give you 15 minutes to share.
Hello. Shoutout po sa mga kasama ko sa plenary. Ay, sa breakout. Shoutout po kay Sir Desi and Mamaan all the way from Davao and Laguna.
Naka-mute pala ako. Hindi ko alam. Anyway.
Narinig mo ko, Rax?
Oo, narinig na kita.
Shout out ako.
Oo, narinig ko. Ayan. So, sige, time check lang. It's 7:12, so we're aiming at 7:30, pero baka konti lang, tingnan natin ha, subukan natin to aim at, ayan, may video, si Sir, thank you, si Sir, hindi ko lang makita ang kanilang mga names. Wala silang names. But thanks for the video, para I feel more connected with you. So, welcome back to the plenary room. Ayan, interesting kasi I was able to join, para lang marinig ko, ilan ba tayo? Naisip ko kasi kung maganda mag-share din sila. So, I think konti lang yung groups. Were you able to choose kung sino yung mag-share ng advice? Meron. So, please type in sa chat box kung ano yung, what did you think about or what did you share? Actually, dalawa yung tanong. Kasi yung isa is, ano yung mga words ninyo for strong start. So, I think dun sa isang group na nakasali ako, hindi nila nasagot ko ano yung advice. Kasi parang, talagang pinag-usapan nila what a strong start is. Yun. So, ang suggestion ko, just type in what you talked about. You can say na, a strong start for us is, yan, type sa chat box. Or you can say, ang tip namin ay, ayan. But for those who have tips, maybe we'll try the feature of raising your hand. Ayan. So, for those who are tech savvy here, ayan, and know how to raise their hands, ayan, please do. Tapos, i-unmute na lang natin sila para they can share. Maybe let's get 3 people to share. Ayan. Hindi ko lang makita yung chat box. Ayan. Ito. Okay. Don't be shy. Ayan. Go Sir Desi and Ma'am Chess. Ayan. So, anyone wants to share? Yung mga may videos, baka gusto niya mag-share.
May nag-raise hand rocks.
Ay, sorry, sino?
Si Mitzi, tama?
Ayan.
Nag-raise hand si Mitzi.
Sige, unmute pa. Paano ba to i-unmute? Sabi ko, parang I'm a new pilot with Zoom, so please bear with us. Ayan. So, Mitzi.
Okay.
Ay, oo nga, nakita ko. So,
May
go.
ganun siya.
Go, Mitzi. Ayan.
Okay, ako muna, sige. So
Thank you for being brave.
So, kasama ko si Ma'am Princess, si Sir Mau, and si Sir, sorry, what's his name? Miko. So, for us, what do you call this? Strong start. Babasahin ko lang yung mga notes. Ay confidence, parang yung confidence na somehow your learners or your students want to attend your class. Yun yung nagpapamotivate daw kay Sir Mauro. Parang he wants to look for his students to look forward to his class. Kay Ma'am Princess naman, ang strong start for her is wait lang. Gusto niyang maging malakas ang loob. Maging to be more confident on trying out new things, trying out new learnings, content wise or technology. Kay Sir Miko naman, well prepared lahat, emotionally, physically, mentally, and prepared for the disasters nga to come. What worked for them? Actually, ako naman, I'm from Habi din. So, for me, strong start is, ayun, parang working to, like, being confident and being prepared and working together as a team with your colleagues and with your students as well. And what worked for us, kay Sir Mauro, nag-start kasi yung classes nila noong August 3. Malaking factor sa kanya is empathy with his students and listening to his students and his colleagues actually. Na parang every end of the day they would have like a decompress sessions kasi homeroom teacher din siya. So nagkakamustahan, ganon. And it really worked for him and for the class. He would he would make choices. He would give students options to, okay, class, gusto mo ba gusto mo ba mag live sessions tayo or gusto nyo bang manood na lang ng lecture ko? So he's open to that.
Nice.
Trust and respect also works for him. Trust and respect for space. So yun, connected siya sa pagbibigay ng options to his students. So parang ginagawa niyang co-designers in a way of building up norms in his class with his students. Kay Ma'am Princess naman, she's more focused in module making, module development, and she wanted to be more open for gaining help from others, from other colleagues of hers, kasi alam niya parang walang isang expert, parang hindi mo kailangan alamin lahat. And in order to make a good module, you have to have you need help. So andun yung openness. And lastly, kay Sir Miko, collaboration worked for him. Collaboration among teachers that worked for him kasi parang ang intindi ko dito is kahit parang napapagod ka agad yung mga teachers, and maganda sana na they would work together as one unit as well para yun nga, mas parang you're running a marathon here, not sprints. So yun. And yun. And for me, what worked for me is constant communication amongst your students or colleagues in my case. Yun lang. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mitzi. From Hobby ka rin pala, tama ba?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice to meet you. Ayan. So now, I think one more share, si Angelita, and then we'll go na. Ayan. Tapos we can actually, just to say na, it's an ongoing conversation, tong Strong Start. So please make sure that you're part of the FB Live, FB private group. And in fact, what we're sharing right now will be shared also to that group. Ayan. So, sige, si Angelita. Hello? Ay, naka-ano ka pa ba? Ask to unmute. Ayan, so,
Hi. Ayan.
sige,
Hello.
okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Hi po. Good evening to everyone. So, yeah, we are in the breakout room number 2. So I was with Miss Joy. So ayan. And then we talked more about defining the strong start for the school year. So yung 3 words niya and yung 3 words ko. Kay Teacher Joy, a strong start is confidence, excitement, and preparedness. And then for me naman, it's open-mindedness, flexible, and then objective-driven. So all these definitions that we had in the strong start, I tried to input that, or I tried to consider that with the advice that we were able to form, which is find your footing, where you can identify the teachers who can learn independently, and then those who need intensive training rather. So in my school po kasi, we had this TDK sessions which we shared with the teachers. That TDK means tutok dikit kulit. Kasi in our school, um, we had a lot of senior teachers. We had a lot of senior teachers who was who found it challenging um, to absorb or to use the new mode of learning. So we had this TDK Mondays for the month of July, June and July. So every Monday we had a session with a group of teachers since hindi pwede lahat on-site. We had the on-site and the online TDK session. So yung on-site kasi we can make sure we assign a certain young teacher to each senior teacher para paggagawa po ng quiz online, ito po yung pipindutin, ito po yung hahanapin, how do you log in, how do you open the learning management system of the school, and then we tried to set up everything for them para bubuksan na lang nila yung laptop nila, and then they will just input the existing materials that they were able to do on their own. Ganun po yung nangyari sa tutok dikit kulit sessions namin with the senior teachers. And then so far naman, because we started our school year we are already running for 3 weeks. This is the 4th week with our students. So far naman, there's very minimal technical concerns when it comes to the students side, or the parents feedback is very positive, since medyo talagang natutukan lahat ng teachers sa tutok dikit kulit sessions. I think that is a very good thing, especially if in your school there's a lot of senior teachers. Ayan. And na-push din naman kasi sila to be open-minded with the new mode of learning. Ayun, thank you.
Thank you. Ayan. So thank you, Angel. Ayan, sorry. So quickly lang, time check, we have we'll just extend the 5 minutes, so until 7:35. But definitely, we're here right now live, but we can still actually interact sa group natin. Ayan. And in fact, I think we're learning a lot from each other. Parang we just need to tingnan yung mga patterns. So just to say na when I say I'm a researcher, I'm a quality data na parang qualitative data researcher. So I love stories and patterns. So parang ano ba yung pinaka-common na lumalabas? Tapos ang interesting kasi sa sharing ninyo, ang lakas ng labas ng parang confidence. Pero ang ganda rin kasi particularly in your group, malakas din yung empathy. Empathy for for the students actually, for other teachers and for yourself. Tapos ang ganda rin yung nakuha ko rin, meron din about, I like what Mitzi said about communicating with other people. And I think crucial yan right now sa teachers kasi you're communicating with parents in a different way, di ba? Communicating with your students also, lumabas yan na parang gusto mo na motivated sila. Ayun. So, and communicating with each other. So just quickly, parang actually before you, nagtanong na rin ako sa ibang tao na parang ano ba yung strong start para sa inyo. So ako, tinanong ko rin yung sarili ko, ano nga ba ang strong start? So para sa akin, ang strong start, parang nga rin siyang marathon na tatakbo ka. Hindi siya sprint, parang marathon kasi mahaba. Yon, may buwelo, hingang malalim, bago tumakbo. In a sense, it creates momentum. Sabi nga ni Patrick, nung nagkukwentuhan kami, sabi niya, it's a jump off point. Parang yun ang pace na gagalawan mo all throughout the run. So, yun. Tapos yung iba pang insights na nakuha ko, sabi naman ng friend ko na si Sabs, parang sabi niya, actually, hindi nagsisimula yung strong start sa starting line. In fact, it's what you do before, what happens during, and how you measure it. So, sinabi rin ng ating kaibigan na si Michael Phelps, ayan, there is no such thing as overnight success. Ayan, no matter what the endeavor, you have to put in time and effort. If you stick with it, you will be surprised by what you achieve. So, nakita mo dyan, tong isang guy, ginugol ko, parang ano yung pinaka-workout para, for you to run. Ayan, so meron kang, dapat strong core. Di ba, before a marathon, syempre, mag-run ka muna ng 5 kilometers, 10, 21, hindi mo bibiglain sarili mo. So, I think lumalabas din yan sa sinasabi niyong preparedness, na parang it's important for you to prepare beforehand. Ayun. But at the same time, meron din kasi parang konti lang yung time. So may ganong difficulty, di ba? So quickly then, yung next slide. Ayan. Sorry. So meron akong ipopost dyan. Ayan. It's not a perfect start. Just like this one, ayan. So this is like our start zero. Na-discover ko rin as a teacher, parang kasi 'di ba parang pag after college kasi ako nagturo, so parang wow, this is it. Parang it's gonna be parang feeling high ako. Pero parang nadurog ako, yung parang after first date, after ng honeymoon, parang oh my gosh, ito pala yun. Parang it doesn't feel good. Ayan. So it's not as perfect start, but an encouraging one. So gusto ko lang sabihin na ang interesting sa big private jet suite school na nagturo ako, sobrang interesting because the director then talked to me just once at the start of the school year. Kasi hindi ko maintindihan why he said that. Actually, si Father Goto Father Johnny Go. And he's really like, big, kasi sobrang, big guy siya for education. Tapos sabi niya, before you finish your parang entry to this school, you have to go to the director's office. Sabi ko, okay. So parang when I went there, sinabi niya lang basically parang, oh, I see you're a new teacher. Can I ask you a favor? Sabi ko, oh my gosh, the director of the school is asking me a favor. Sabi ko, oh, so yes, Father, parang what favor are you gonna ask me? Sabi niya, can I ask you to be patient with yourself? Parang, what? Sabi ko, oh, pero you know what? Hindi ko sure, parang siya nagdilang anghel. Kasi parang, I really needed that. Because it was my first heartbreak that year. My first year of teaching was actually my first heartbreak because I realized there were so many things I made na mistake. Pero sinabi niya actually, I hope not at the expense of, other people, parang ganyan. Or for, not, parang yung mistakes mo, sakto lang. And ako, natutunan ko yun kasi I ended up having a child with disability, with ADHD, and I didn't know how to deal with it yun. So basically, you'll really, it's unavoidable to make mistakes. Lalo na ngayon digital, di ba? Hindi ko alam kung kayo, expert na kayo, ang galing nyo na sa Zoom or sa mga ganyan. Ako, sobrang merong tech anxiety. Ayan. So, it's not perfect but encouraging na parang just be patient with yourself. So, I'll share just this video when sa Facebook group, but basically, parang it's about a gymnast na nag-compete siya. Tapos parang feeling niya, mag-give up na sana siya, pero nag-push through pa rin siya. So, sabi naman ni Chess na parang, and talagang na-struck ako sa sinabi niya, na parang a true strong start. Dinagdag ko yung true. Sabi niya, a strong start. Para sa akin, yun yung totoong strong start. Allow someone to finish strong. 'Di ba? Hindi lang siya sa simula. Nakakatapos ka talaga kasi strong nga eh. Yun. Hindi naman siya. So, ang next ko dyan is actually, sorry, na-skip ko yun, pero it's not a fast start. Yun. So, and maybe I can share this story also in the Facebook group, but that's a picture of the fellows I worked with in 2013 in Teacher the Philippines. Naalala ko na bago kasi sila eh. Kumbaga, they were the ones who took the first, parang, kunyari may war, sila yung unang blow, parang ganyan. So, sila yung naka-experience. So, parang, oh, okay, ano pala yung kailangan i-adjust. So, in fact, it was difficult for them because parang the organization or parang everything was still a learning process. But what was interesting was, sila yung group na 1 year, all of them stayed on. As in, super solid, strong. Tapos, naisip ko, ano kaya yung nangyari? Parang what made them solid? And nakita ko talaga yung atmosphere of community. They're all very different, pero yung parang yung common why nila. Ayun. So feeling ko, a strong start also is not a start na ikaw lang yung tumatakbo, na may kasama ka. At minsan, kapag pagod ka na, may parang, uy, takbo tayo, di ba? Parang mas may gana kapag may katakbo ka. Yun. So, ayan. So, I'll share more about it, and you do what you love. So, basically, ang bottom line ko lang, when I was asking about the strong start, okay, there's so many people that shared about their strong start. But at the end of the day, nobody can know for you what a strong start is. Kasi iba-iba tayo ng katawan, iba-iba tayo ng emotions, iba-iba tayo ng mind, ganyan, at ng context. Yan. So, at the end of the day, naniniwala ako na the teacher is also an expert. And in fact, I really think that teachers are the experts of their own experiences. Kasi experience are the best teachers. But at the same time, we can learn from listening to each other's stories and insights by asking the right questions. Like ngayon, natanong mo na ba yung co-teacher mo o yung mommy or yung students para sa inyo? How can we start this year strong? How would it look like for them to share that to you? Diba? Na parang, no, so ito pala yung kailangan natin. Yun. So, and just papasadahan ko lang to. Important, yung na-mention ko na, it's a strong body, strong heart, and strong mind. So, quickly sa chat box, just write it down. But if you're in Facebook Live, you can also do that. Or para sa mga nandito na iniisip nyo pa, kailangan nyo pa ng time. Pero papasadahan ko lang, pwede nyo namang i-type na lang dun sa online, what is one thing you still need help strengthening? So think about it. You can type it right now or you can say, ay, papanoorin ko ulit yung video, tatype ko na lang mamaya. Ano nga ba yung kailangan ko pa ng strengthening? Okay? So, papasadahan ko lang, ang important, and that's what Teaching Spark is all about, na parang body, mind, and heart. It's the whole of who you are. It's an approach to shifting your state and choosing the stories we tell ourselves in order to take care of our mind, heart, and body. Basically, parang, di ba, pag may problema tayo, we start with strategies. Pero minsan, hindi natin nagagawa kahit alam na natin kung anong gagawin. Kasi important din yung stories that we tell ourselves. If we think like we're a victim, na ano ba yan, napipilitan lang ako, we won't do anything. But if we think na parang, wait lang, I'm a survivor, I'm a fighter, I got this, ganyan. So nakikita mo yung strategies. Pero minsan, kahit na, ang ganda na ng story mo, which is I think most of you, positive yung affirmations sa sarili nyo, parang, pagod na ako, hindi ko na talaga kaya, kahit na i-self-talk ko yung sarili ko, hindi ko kaya. State naman yon, which is physiology, the body. So basically, ano yung pag-uusapan natin? Ayan. Ayan. 5 things. Ayan. So, ipopost din namin yan. Babasahin ko lang quickly. Yung Teaching Spark, it stands for S. First, you have to sense the movements of your heart. Nasaan ka ba? Diba? Parang important yon. Check your heart. Ayan. Physically and emotionally. Ayan. Tapos P, put things into perspective. Na parang see things as it is. Hindi mo kailangan palakihin, hindi mo kailangan paliitin. Ito yon. Parang yan. A is act on the call for adventure. R, raise your standards. And we'll talk more about it. Na parang what do you mean? And K, know your why. So we'd like to invite you for that. Tapos I'll share the video also in the Facebook group. Ayan, in terms of ano ba yung call to find the hero? Parang right now, wait lang. Sorry. So maybe mag-ask ako ng 3 more minutes or mga, kung okay lang. Ayan, 3 to 5 minutes para lang hindi tayo rushed. Ayan. So yung Teaching Spark, yun yung gagawin natin. Para saan ba yung Teaching Spark? Sa totoo, parang ang na-notice ko, we have a tendency to, parang, ako rin actually, to look at heroes outside of us. Diba? Parang, sino kaya yung inspiring, ganyan. And in fact, I have a friend na sobrang sikat siya na teacher inspiration, and you probably know who she is. Parang, she told me, parang, alam mo sa totoo, hindi lang naman ako, parang sometimes I just wanna be like the other teachers. Hindi lang naman ako yung inspiring eh. Maraming teachers na inspiring. And in fact, sometimes in her talks, she brings along other teachers to share their stories. So ang naisip ko, or the insight that came to me, and even with myself is, parang merong challenge or may call to find the hero within us. And to find inspiration within us. And in fact, right now, kasi parang, di ba yung kay Joseph Campbell nga, na parang, hindi natin napapansin na may ginagawa pala tayo outside of our comfort zone that's making a difference for others. Yon. So, yan. Pabaon na tanong, and this is the last. So I hope you'll watch that video. May video akong i-show na parang about the frontliners who went out of their comfort zone during the pandemic. So yung pa ba ang tanong ngayon, and ito, mas i-flesh out pa natin all throughout the series is, how would you like to remember and share school year 2020 to future generations? Diba? Actually, dun sa video kasi makikita nyo yun parang, it's so different. Ito yung time na parang, when schools closed down, but when learning happened online, parang ganyan. So, ano yung, how do you imagine it na kukwento niyo sa mga apo ninyo, sa mga anak ninyo na, alam mo, in 2020, ibang klase. Ito yung nangyari. Yun. So, think about it. Ayan. So, parang, I made this, short, parang pintig ng puso, mabilis at kabado, naghahanda na. So, yun yung feeling ng start, kahit anong start. And I think what makes it a strong start is if we're aware that we are there, parang to be in that moment of starting. So, ayan. So, yan. So, I want to end with that. Meron akong isang poem na sinulat din doon. I-share ko na lang sa Facebook. Tawag sa kanya, Master Builder Prayer. Or parang, but I think the challenge is not for us, parang we're not master builders. Parang we are parang workers. Parang that we don't have control of the future, but what we can do is start with what we have right now. So again, thank you very much dun sa lahat ng teachers na nandito at dun sa i-invite ng iba pang teachers na sumali. And I'll see you online. So I'll turn you over to Patrick and to Chess for some announcements.
All right. Thank you, Rax. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, teachers. So let me just do a new share. So stop ko lang yung share ni Rax. And then, all right. So here's what's in store for Habi Live in the next few weeks. So we'll be covering all of the items na discuss ni Rax pagdating sa Spark framework niya. Now, on August 31, we'll be doing the S. September 7, we'll be doing the P. And then in the next 5 weeks, we'll be doing this every Monday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. So if you have free Mondays, kung free kayo ng mga ganitong oras, feel free to join our sessions po. Alright. Again, as said kanina by Rax, meron tayong online community for Strong Start. So punta lang tayo sa link na ito, bit.ly/StrongStartFBgroup. Alright? So sumali lang po tayo sa group na ito para pwede na makipag-usap dun sa mga participants na nasali natin today. Alright? Sige po, we'll give you, send ni Chess yung link sa ating chat. Alright, thank you, Chess. Alright. So doon po nagtatapos yung Habi Live session natin for today. If you want to follow Habi Education Lab and its social media accounts, nandito po, facebook.com/HabiEducationLab. And sa Instagram naman po ay Habi_PH. Tapos let's do our checkout. Dahil kanina nag-check-in tayo, ngayon naman let's do our checkout. So very simple lang yung checkout natin ngayon. Ano yung baon natin after this workshop? So let's use one word. Ano yung baon natin? We'll give you 1 minute. Pwede akong magsabi, ang babaunin ko ay yung optimism. Sige, Chess? Ayun, tama na ko ni Sir Mark. Chess?
2 words. New friends. Sorry, 2 words.
Again, meron po tayong session next week if you want to come back. Meron po tayong session next week and we'll make sure to invite everyone. Alright? Thank you po. Maraming salamat sa pag-participate sa ating Habi Live. Thank you, everyone.
Marami pong salamat, teachers.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, Eman. Kat.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you, Teacher
Bye-bye.
Desi. Ingat
Salamat!
po kayo. And Ma'am Mean, Ma'am Maan. Happy Monday.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy po the
Happy
day.
Monday!
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Happy Monday.